Hi, I'm Lynda, as Alex just said, and I really appreciate being here in Galerie Myrtis, and I just feel so honored to be represented by Myrtis, who's just an extraordinary human being, one of the most that I've met in my life. So since I was a child, I made things. I was born and raised in Colombia, South America, in the Andes. I used my imagination to create toys because when I grew up, there was no TV. It was way up in the Andes, and my parents happened to be missionaries, and so we were living in Indian villages. So after I came back from South America, which was a junior in high school, I came to the United States. I attended Hunter College in New York City, where I majored in sculpture. The wood shop became my home. My first job after college was teaching woodworking in the Catskills to inner city children from New York City for a week-long nature program. I researched lore and poetry of the surrounding trees. I set up workstations around the shop to experience the various properties of wood. In fact, the kids would go back with a turned baseball bat from one of the trees out in front of the shop. And so it was just this fantastic multi-sensory program I developed for the kids. Given all this work, I thought I should get a master's degree. I discovered the museum education program at Bank Street College. Trees were my museum collection. I went on, and then I went on to direct the small children's museum and progressed in exhibition projects in the Smithsonian and the Library of Congress. So the next few shots are sculptures made with my bandsaw. And this is my bandsaw, and that's a very, very important tool in my work. I slice branches, and then I reconfigure them into a sculpture. And that's my first approach to wood art. So that piece was done on my bandsaw. A lot of my pieces were done and sliced on a bandsaw. Let's see. Okay, this is called Epiphany, and then I changed it to the Phoenix Rising. But this was a dogwood, the crotch of a dogwood branch that I sliced, and there it was, like birds inside when I book matched those pieces, black walnut branch. And I just found, it's like I just opened up the wood, and I found the texture just absolutely beautiful. And then I try to leave some of the bark on so the interior and the exterior are revealed. I say I undress trees. This is the beckoning. This is a dogwood branch that I've sliced on the bandsaw, and then I reconfigured it. And my work takes a long time because I do a certain amount, and then I don't know where else to go with it. And finally, I guess maybe a year later, I bumped into my piece of black walnut, and I thought, okay, I'll do stairs. So that way it's called beckoning. And this is a boxwood branch that I sliced on my bandsaw. The black walnut base, I'd like to try to emphasize nature. I try to have nature be at the eye level of people so that natural form people are confronted with that. Wow, what's that? Is that nature? And then I try to lift up that natural form with black walnut, which to me is a very finely finished tree wood. It's very kind of precious wood. Okay, so then this is not sliced. So let me just go to my mending. This particular sculpture is my first major work. The base is mended with copper wire. So this is stacked Baltic plywood, cut on my bandsaw, then stacked it, glued it, and sanded it down. This is turned on my lathe, and then this was a sapling branch. And this was because I had been in the museum work for 15 years and hadn't done any art, and I decided to come back to my art. And this was my first piece, coming back to it. And it was very significant to me because I entered it into an exhibition that was juried by J. Carter Brown, permanent director of the National Gallery, and I thought, wow, if only I can get into that exhibit. Well, not only did I get in, but he gave me an award for sculpture mixed media. And, you know, that, I knew that this could not be the only sculpture in the world made by me. So it truly was a mending of my soul, because that's when I started going into my sculpture. And, you know, when you really are passionate or doing your talents, for so long I had been saying no, because it wasn't, you know, being an artist to me wasn't intellectual, being in museums was, and so on. So, you know, when I came back to my art, my life changed. It was just an amazing thing, what's happened what's happened as a result of doing my art. So the next slides show a different approach, where I turn a sphere on the lathe. And this actually happened to be somebody who had made a clamshell with this maple, and he left all the tool marks on there. And he came to me and he said, Lynda, I have no idea what to do with this, but I'm sure you can figure out what to do with it. And so it sat on my table for a long time, and it fell on the floor and broke, and all these wonderful jagged edges you know, revealed themselves to me. And then I just kind of put the two together, and it works. It works. And this is significant to me too, because it opened me to exhibiting internationally. It was in the Arts and Embassy program in the U.S. Embassy of Rome. So the next piece, spiraling up. It's created with a twisted oak branch, which I sliced on my bandsaw. So this is just one branch. And you know, people, even woodworkers say, how did you bend that? Well, no, it's not bent at all. It's all it is sliced. And I struggled with, well, so how do I do this? Because this, if I repeated it horizontally, it would have been a beautiful landscape type piece. But there's something about the lifting up. I like that, bringing people's energy upward. And so that is, and then this tree, the discs came from my neighbor's tree. All of my wood is from my one block area and so my husband does do some of the original chainsaw work, and then so these which were squares I took to my friend's lathe, because he has a big lathe and I didn't have that. So I turned all that. Yeah, now this is called Transitional Reflections, and it's a huge significance to me as a wood artist. I was asked to create a sculpture from one of the many uprooted trees for new construction. This is where I work. It was a brand new tower, and they had seen my actually they had seen my first exhibition with Myrtis. They said, can you make a sculpture out of one of these trees? I chose the tree, which I think is right here. That was the tree. I had them cut it and deliver it to my house. And I had no idea what I was going to do. And finally, one of the limitations for myself is I have to be able to pick it up and put it in my van. I can put it into components. So I somehow selected one of these forks, and I don't know what fork in there. And so my husband cut the fork of the tree vertically, and this then goes on top of that with a half flat joint. So that's the beginning of it. So this is the almond shape form is called a mandorla, and it's significant in that a lot of religions around the world have used that form. They've used that form for putting in, you know, the Virgin Mary. Hinduism uses that form. So I wanted it to be putting it vertically, Just having that idea of going through this form, calling it liminal space. And this is actually a repeated form that I did, and I was playing around with the idea of a mirror, which would then reflect the grain pattern of the wood. So it's hard to see on a picture, but this is 6 feet high, and when you see it in person, and the mirrors have done an amazing thing for this. You could walk up to the piece, and this is the hollow, but because of the way the mirrors are reflecting it, it looks solid. And people are always putting their hands through this piece. They want to walk through the piece. This layering. It is a wonderful piece. I have to admit it. It's really nice. I like it. And what was really nice about it was that over 100 people contributed money to purchase this piece. So it's permanent, permanently in the atrium of that building. It's Goodwin House, Bailey's Crossroads. It's a retirement community in Falls Church. They've got a very extensive art program. I'm in charge of the art program there, and we have a beautiful gallery. And so, yeah, it's very nice to have it where I work. You know, folks are always curious about my process. For me, the creation of a sculpture is always intuitive. It starts with nature. So I always slice the piece in some way. I want to see what's inside, what's outside. Well, it's obvious what's outside. It's the inside that I don't know what's going to be. Then I explore with constructed forms. And I always try to, so that particular piece is, you know, the wonderful fungus on this birch. And so the geometric form, the rectangle, is made out of black walnut, which kind of is I put black walnut just about in every piece of mine. So that's just one of the things I try to do, try to create a geometric form as a counterpoint to that natural form. Oh, I forgot to continue. Okay, this piece is not in the exhibit, but again, here's the turn form, and this is an oak log that I constructed. This is rain catcher. This is a hollow apple. Again, this is from my neighbor. And I did this for an exhibition that the Washington Sculptors Group had, which is called Aquifer. And when as a child in the Andes, the Indians used to carry water down a mountainside with a wooden trough. So I immediately started with that. This is the root system. So there's kind of a playfulness with this form. I used copper tubing representing the contemporary way of carrying water, ancient way, and then the vessel, ceramic vessel being ancient. And this is a recent piece, Gnosis. This is I found this in Alexandria on the street. Somebody had just dug up their boxwood bush, and it was just this beautiful energy that was shooting out of this root system. And so I sandblasted it, and so it's underneath is the very white underneath part of the bark, and then again black walnut with the form kind of at a triangular, bringing people's energy or eyes up to that natural, the wildness of nature there. And this is my last piece that I've done, and again, this is slicing the burl maple, opening it up, and saying what's inside. And so anyway, that is, one more thing. I was selected for a book called Green Tree, Trees, Roots, and Leaves, and it's being published, and it will come out this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.